Hiya, Steve from Big Cloud here. I'm doing another guitar video. I've been doing, I've been meaning to do a series of videos on all the instruments we use here for the recording and the sessions we do for the songwriters. I did that orange Warmouth Strat last time. I probably went on a bit long, but I got a bit excited. This is a new Strat I've got, and I'm going to be doing other videos about the Gibsons and the PRSs and etc. that I've got. But this is my latest guitar, and you get a bit excited about your new one. So I thought I'd get the ball rolling with this. It's another Partcaster. So in a nutshell, try not to waffle too much, but I wanted a classic Strat, classic single coils, not humbuckers, not noise cancelling, just your classic Stratocaster sound. Kind of like think your Mark Knopfler. Even like your Jimi Hendrix if you were going to be putting overdrive on it, but I was thinking more clean, that kind of stratty Mark Knopfler, Eric Clapton kind of sound. And who's the guy from the Chili Peppers, more contemporary, John Frusciante. I love that kind of thin, but rich sound that a classic Strat gets. I've always got Strats, got classic single coils, found them too plinky and whacked them in for humbuckers because I play with a lot of music that has drive and things like that. And if you haven't got decent single coils, then it can be a bit hard. You end up pining for the Gibson humbucker. But I keep going back. And I kind of went into this pessimistically, thinking, well, this is another project that's doomed to fail. But I do enjoy tinkering with guitar, so it's not so heartbreaking. So there was a Mexican Strat on one of the big warehouse websites, Anderson's, for about 600 quid. It looked really good. It was like a classic player Strat, had decent pickups, decent bridge. But you never know what you're getting with. It could be really heavy. It might not play nice. It might be a bad neck. So it's always best to try before you buy. But you go to a music shop, Dawson's or whatever, and they'll have like one or two in there of the model that you're interested in. If that one's heavy or if that one's not set up well, it's hard to know whether to take a punt or not. So I like to sort of build my own, if possible. So what I did, I found this neck on eBay. It's off a guitar called I'll hold it up here. It's off a guitar called a Fender Hot Rod Vintage 57, which is a really well-regarded Fender production model. It's made in America. It's considered like just below their custom shop models in terms of quality. It's probably a step up from your Fender American standards. It's got a V-shaped neck, a soft V. It's a one-piece maple. It's got a compound radius. I think I've had conflicting reports about the compound radius. Some websites listed as having a 9.5 straight, like a Fender Strat. Some say it's a compound radius. I don't know. It plays really nice. It's got really nice big frets. So it's a modern feeling neck, but it's called a vintage. I mean, there's little vintage features in the way they've put the decal on over the lacquer. That's like what they used to do in the 50s. The one piece maple is a 1950s thing. The V-neck is a 50s thing, but they've coupled it with modern playability things like the compound radius, or at least the flatter fretboard, and the bigger frets. So it's easier. Basically, that just means it's easier to bend without choking out. On the old, more conical boards, it was great for like chords, but then when you get up here and try to do that, you'd choke before you'd even go half a bend. So you'd have to have the action up high. That's why a lot of old guitars, the action's up here. So you got to, be like a weightlifter to do a little bend. So with this, best of both worlds. It's a really, I don't know if you can even see, but it's a really low action all the way across, all the way up here. It's really easy to play. Very happy. I got a Warmouth body off eBay as well. It'd already been finished in nitro. Oh yeah, this is nitro finish as well, not a poly finish like an American Standard. It's going to wear really, really great, and it feels better. It's really thin. I don't subscribe to the whole, poly, chokes the tone and doesn't let the wood breathe. That's all nonsense. But what it does do, it does feel a bit plastically to your hand. And that's just it. If you're spending a few £100 on a guitar, it's got to feel nice as well as play nice and sound nice. And there's a million debates on this on all the guitar forums, but a lot of people like the feel of the nitro. I just like the way it wears. It just seems more organic, the way you can play it for 20 years and it'll look like you played it for 20 years. Where with a poly it'll just look exactly the same, or you might get a few chips and cracks. They wear really nice, so that's why I like them. The Warmouth body I got is a really lightweight. I don't even know if it's chambered or not, but it's really light. It feels like it could be, but it might just be a really light piece of solid alder. It's been finished in a nitro red, and it's been reliced by someone that done a pretty good job. It looks pretty authentic until this corner bit was a bit mad. So I just sanded a little bit of the grey undercoat away, and you can see a bit of the wood poking through. And how it looks is not that important because this is really a studio guitar. But it's okay. I got shallow strap locks on, and the most important thing, I got these pickups John Benson set from America, hand wound. They're meant to be a recreation of the Mark Knopfler Strat, that kind of Sultans of Swing, quacky early 60s Strat sound, which is the holy grail kind of Strat sound. And he's hand wound this set, not just for me though. Someone was selling this complete set on eBay, like quality parts, quality switch, paper and oil capacitors, proper retro setup, cloth wires, all that. They sound great, really. And I'm not a single coil guy. It's like I keep saying, I try them and then I get rid and I go back to humbuckers over and over again. When I record for single coil sounds, more often than not I've been like just splitting humbuckers and using that. I wanted just a classic Strat that wasn't modified. It was just a classic Strat, with the hum and everything, and just record that when I needed it. So that's what I got. It sounds great. Well, I'll show you. I'll go through the pickups in a sec. Oh yeah, string saver saddles on the bridge, which I love. If you gig, I recommend these because you don't break strings, and the worst thing about gigging is breaking string, and then you've got to faff around. Oh yeah, and another thing, I bought these Goto lock-in vintage machine heads. So I always have lock-in tuners on most of my guitars. I just like I don't like the hassle of pulling out a string in the middle of a gig and measuring and winding and tightening and pull. I like to be able to whack it in, lock it, bit of a pull, and then you're back in the song. I've broke strings in the middle of a song, and with a lock-in tuner on your guitar, you can, if you've got a string handy, you can get it on and be back playing before the song's even finished. With a conventional tuner, it's more tricky. People can do it, but it is more tricky. It's just convenience. And if you're sitting at home playing in your bedroom or whatever, it doesn't matter. You can take as long as you want. But if there's a crowd waiting for you, you just want to be, back in the game as soon as possible. So I like them. Now the downside to some of them are they add a bit of weight to your guitar, or they're heavy or clunky, or you don't think they look as nice. This is the first one I've seen where it looks just like a vintage tuner. It doesn't seem any heavier. It's really light, and it does. You got the lock-in feature, so great. I mean, on my other guitars, I've got the Grover, with the wheel at the back. It works exactly the same, but it is a bit more mass, and it just feels like really good quality. The tuning pegs have the right amount of resistance on them. It just feels like a high-quality machine head. So I'm really pleased with them. Recommend them. So that's about it. So the gamble paid off anyway. It's really light. It's resonant. If you put your ear to the Strat and you play it, even without an amp, you can feel the notes really resonating through the wood. Some Strats, it's just dead. this is good. It's a lively instrument. So let's go through the pickup. So the neck pickup, which for a lot of people is, you know, the bread and butter of a Stratocaster, because they find the bridge too bright probably. So this is what we got for the neck. This is just a clean sound, no effects or pedals. It's just guitar lead amp. That's a Fender Hot Rod Deluxe. Really nice valve amp. Just a clean channel, bit of reverb, and so this is the neck pickup. This is the second position, the neck in the middle, the out of phase quacky sound, which is hum cancelling as well. Middle. That's nice. I never use the middle position on any Strat ever. It's always neck, bridge, and the quacky positions, but that's usable. Really nice. This is the fourth position, maybe my favourite, bridge and middle. Another quacky position, hum cancelling again. What's beautiful about these quacky positions is there's a warmth to them. Sometimes they sound almost out of phase and they're just, you know, bright and squawky. This is like, there's a real... Here's the second. And the bridge, which is unusable on a lot of Strats, but this is great. It's really bright and sparkly, so you could use it for all this. Great. Yeah, so it's great. You know, you can the controls are quality, so you know you could play on the bridge and roll the tone back and get jazz sounds. You go from that to, so that's a versatile guitar, you know. So yeah, I'm really pleased. If you add some gain, it's great. Sometimes a Strat when you add gain, like I said before, gets a bit pinky, So you can hear that hum, but if you put it in the notch positions, it goes away. It's back, goes away, it's back. So all in all, I'm really pleased. I like the notch positions best. So yeah, you know, this isn't an advert for this guitar because you can't really buy this guitar, but I'd recommend the parts and try and do something similar if you like this kind of sound. The amp's great, Hot Rod Deluxe. Benson pickups, I love the best Strat pickups I've ever tried. I recommend string saver saddles if you're a gigging guitarist. I recommend these Goto locking tuners, they're great. This Fender Hot Rod Vintage 57 neck is wonderful, so you can probably get one of those guitars or, you know, the neck somewhere else. You don't see a lot of the necks on their own, so I think I got lucky. And Warmoth always do good quality stuff, and this one's finished in nitro instead of the poly, so it's an all nitro guitar, fantastic hand wound pickups, high quality hardware, and you know, I probably spent about £500-600 on it, so you know you can just about get a Fender's Mexican Strat for that money. And this is approaching a Fender Custom Shop level instrument, you know, with the quality pickups, the lightweight woods. You know, I've had it set up by the local luthiers, so the fretwork and the nuts and everything's spot on. So you know, you don't have to go to a shop and spend £3,000 to get a decent Strat. I mean, it's a bolt-on guitar. You know, they're fairly simple things. You can just get decent components, get a good setup, and make sure everything's tickety-boo. It's you can get a good instrument for a few £100. So that's it for me. I'll do some more videos on the other instruments I've got. I've got more humbuckers, like I've got the humbucker-based instruments like the Les Paul and the 335. I've got a nice Gibson acoustic, some bass, a couple more Strats, a couple of PRS as well. So I'll do a little series on all the instruments, and you can have a look and see which ones you like the sound of. But for now, I'm really pleased with this because it's the newest, and you always like the newest. You know, I'll like something else next week probably, but for now, I'm pleased with that. All right, thanks for watching. Cheers, guys.